All right, we are here every sport today, best all sports podcast in the world. Today, the NFL wild card weekend. It was a full weekend, lasted into it's not really a weekend, it actually goes into Monday, Monday's not the weekend anymore. Those Monday night games, they kind of drag. Usually during the wild card weekend, like I'm not shocked that we didn't get a bad game. I am disappointed, but like I feel like this is normal. Anyways, it's the wild card weekend. It's the AFC and the NFC wild card playoffs. We are recording this. The Rams are currently winning 27-9. They just punted the ball back to the Vikings. So if the Vikings score 3 times in the next 2 minutes and 33 seconds, we will let you guys know. But just getting that out of the way right now. We are joined by Mr. Jakey Tutties to talk some NFL. How was your NFC wild card weekend? Do you have a very valuable weekend with the wild card, there in the back pocket?
It was a Saturday, got up, went to the gym,
Mm-hmm.
went to get a pastry and coffee afterwards, and then came home and relaxed and watched one of the weirdest football games I've ever seen in my life. And then, I had the dilemma of the going to see Seven on IMAX. Yep. And then Amazon played the Ben Roethlisberger sits down, Ray Lewis sits down on the other couch, and like, division rivalry. It means more. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I gotta watch this game. It's gonna be a good one. And I just knew in my heart it wasn't gonna be a good one, but there's always room for optimism in life.
You had to write it out.
Sometimes you gotta take a chance. And
it
was a bad chance.
Yeah, that wild card Saturday, there's 2 games. One of them's gonna be weird as fuck because it includes an AFC South team every year. And then the other one you're hoping is going to be good. And this year, Steelers-Ravens, hyped up divisional opponents, divisional rivals. One of the best rivalries in all of the NFL. And it fell flat. And we'll get to that game. But let's do this. We're going to go in order of the games. So let's start with that Saturday. Saturday, I was up at 8 a.m. where my group is doing this workout plan. So I had, 100-yard farmer carries, 50-yard bear crawls, 20 sit-ups, and then like a 500-yard run. We did that 5 times, and then we did like a mile ruck. So that was my morning, and then I took a nap, and then I woke up for the Chargers-Texans, and I sat on the couch the rest of the day. So I got my exercise done very quickly, very early, and I was exhausted because that shit sucked. Anyways, Texans-Chargers. It did not make my pain go away from that early morning workout. It kind of made it worse because the game was, at times it was just unbearable to watch. And then at times it was like, all right, at least this is like entertainingly fun. How did you feel about this matchup? You said it was one of the weirdest matchups that you've ever seen in your entire life. We've said it all year that the Houston Texans are the weirdest fuck team, but this just kind of encapsulated the beautiful start of the Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon wild card playoff weekend. What were your thoughts on this matchup and how you felt the game was?
Let me run you through. I guess it's technically on the sheet. It's 3 plays.
Okay.
But a 4-play sequence that happened in this game. So the Chargers have the ball around the 25, I think. Justin Herbert doesn't check his protection. Just gets absolutely leveled by a free rusher.
Yep.
Just takes a terrible sack. Like, if you watch football in the past year, there was one earlier this season where Kyler just got absolutely obliterated because he didn't call out a free rusher.
Yep.
And then there was a Cam Newton little spot where he kind of explained what happened on that play and was like, yeah, this is no fault of the offensive lineman or anybody who was supposed to block. It was entirely Kyler Murray's fault. That same exact thing happened to Justin Herbert on that play.
Yeah.
Next play, just a complete interior pressure, line collapses, Justin Herbert gets swallowed. It's like 3rd and 26, right? Throws a fucking dot to Ladd McConkey, who jumps over Derek Stingley, and then runs 86 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah. Might have been the best play of the first round.
Probably was. It was, and that I would say the Jacobs run or the Goddard touchdown, even though that was the worst defense I've ever seen in my life.
That's fair, yeah. Those are the 3 finalists.
Yeah. So absolutely incredible play, like completely game-changing play. At that point,
Yeah.
it's 12-23, I think. So, they kicked the field goal, 13-23. It's 10-point game, touchdown, field goal. Math is not that hard.
Yeah.
And then they block the kick. He fucking smacks down on the ground like it's volleyball. Like, just catch the ball, dude. He gets laid the fuck out. Like, if he was trying to protect himself, he got laid the fuck out anyways. And then the Texans recover it, score 2 points, which is... When was the last time you've seen that? Have you ever seen that?
I can't remember the last time I would have seen it.
Just one in a lifetime thing. And that was, I don't know, 2 one in a lifetime plays that you'll just never see again. And yeah, that was pretty much the game.
Yeah, it was.
I want to hear your... So, did you bring your documentation that I told you to bring?
Oh, I don't have my documentation on hand.
Damn it.
But it's all in the,
It's in the system?
Yeah, it's all in the works. Wallets. Yeah, the online like wallets that everyone's talking about, the crypto wallets. It's in my Robinhood account. You can go look up like the documents and stuff like that. I have sold all of my Justin Herbert stock.
Your J Herbo coin.
My J Herbo coin is gone. My beautiful villa on Justin Herbert Island has been sold. I feel bad for the sucker who bought it, but I also sold it at a very, very low price. I think I sold it right before the lowest price that you could ever sell Justin Herbert stock. So, at least I didn't completely bottom out there. But yes, I have been a Justin Herbert defender for a long time, and I am no longer a Justin Herbert defender because this was a abysmal performance. 14 for 32, 242, 4 interceptions against a Texans defense that like has struggled all year. Like they've got some pieces. You're like, yeah, they got Stingley, they got Al-Shaair, who might be one of the dirtiest players in the league, by the way. Danielle Hunter, Anderson, like they got all these like key, big pieces in their lineup. But you shouldn't give up 4 interceptions, especially in the biggest game of your life, especially in the first round of the playoffs, and basically single-handedly cost your team the game. So Herbert was bad. I don't know if this was a Chargers curse thing. I don't know if this was they couldn't run the ball type situation, so they felt like they just had to lean on Herbert more, and he was making a lot of huge mistakes. I mean, they were up 6-0 in this game. Like, they should have been able to establish the run, and they just could not get anything going on the ground. Dobbins was 9 for 26. Gus Edwards was 7 for 22. Somehow Ezekiel Elliott got 0 carries in this game. I know that he wanted to go play for a playoff team so he could get all these, stats and everything like that. Didn't get a carry. I wonder if he's just bad or something. That's crazy to think about. But I hate Zeke. Listen, this game, it was dominated by 3 players. Joe Mixon had 106. Nico Collins had 122. Ladd McConkey had 197. I think I just calculated it, but then I got rid of my calculator. There was like 220 yards involving those 3 players. Over 2/3 of the yards in this game were to 3 different players. So, one, that's not a winning recipe for these teams. So, Texans moving forward, not going to be a good sign.
No, that is a recipe for the Texans.
Well, okay, that's the recipe for the Texans, but it's not going to be a successful strategy if you have to go up against the Chiefs.
You want more yards.
Exactly.
You want more yards for sure. But if you're getting 120 out of Collins and 100 out of Mixon, that's pretty much what you need. That's
best case scenario for what they are right now. But you can't be that one-dimensional as a team, or two-dimensional, I should say. It was my issue with the Eagles, but the Eagles, they're better.
Yeah, let's get John Mechie the ball. Who's the guy who dislocated or what did he do?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Who's the guy who dove and dislocated Tank Dell's knee? Let's get him the ball.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know who Robert Woods. Let's get him in some screens.
Here's the thing.
He can block, dude.
Yeah, he can block.
He's throwing blocks left and right.
He can block. Robert Woods is still an asset to this team. John Mechie's not. John Mechie had like 8 targets and 4 receptions for 28 yards. He was absolutely abysmal in this game. Mechie might be one of the worst receivers in the league. And yet he'll have flashes of like good. He's kind of Quentin Johnston-esque Quentin Johnson also 5
You
targets,
know-
0 receptions in this game. I'm selling all my Quentin Johnson stock too. I still
feel
have
like-
like a tiny bit left.
I feel like the Texans should have tried to keep Noah Brown. He was
Yeah.
actually pretty solid for them last year.
He was.
I feel like that was a mistake, and he's not really doing a whole lot on the Commanders. The only thing I can tell you that he's done is
the Hail Mary.
catch one of the most amazing passes of all time. But other
Well,
than
it's
that,
like Deontay Johnson is also on this team now, and he's been there for a few weeks, and he still hasn't been able to like figure out a role in this team at all. I don't know. It's weird and stupid. I guess he's only been there for 2 games now, but like this is a guy that a team like actively traded for, and then is now on a team that lost their second and third best wide receiver, and he can't fit into that system either. I don't really understand. I think Deontay Johnson's one of the most overrated players in the league, and it's proven out that way. So, yeah, that's pretty much it on this game. The Texans, yay, they scored 32 points. If their defense puts up a performance like that against the Chiefs, then maybe they have a chance because their defense did look good. So, we'll see. Anyways, anything else on that game?
yeah, just felt like a really winnable game for the Chargers. I don't
It did.
know what happened here. And I was expecting this to be really competitive. I honestly, my biggest takeaway from this game is that I was thoroughly impressed by the Texans. And here's the thing. You look at the Chargers record versus the Texans. I mean, the Texans play in an easier division, but I feel like they have a couple more higher profile wins than the Chargers do. And the Chargers just primarily beat up on bad teams this year. I mean, that's pretty much what the AFC West did, is beat up on bad teams. And I think they should have competed more in this game. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of that falls on Herbert. I don't know if he's like a leader of men. Like I feel like guys rally around like a CJ Stroud type, a Lamar type, an Allen type, a Burrow type, way more than they do around Justin Herbert, just from what I've seen. And you can say, oh yeah, he's lacking the wide receivers. Oh yeah, he's lacking I don't even know. Yeah. That's pretty much it, is the weapons and the wide receiver. J.K. Dobbins was really good all season. The line is good. They just got outclassed by a Texans defense that looked really good and really primed up for playoff football. And maybe the Texans got a taste for playoff football last year, and they're like, man, this regular season shit kind of sucks. Like, we want to be back in the playoffs. And they pretty much did the same exact shit they did last year in the first round. So,
I think that's fair. I don't think that Chiefs matchup is a walkover, especially when you consider that Patrick Mahomes hasn't thrown a football in an NFL game since Christmas. Like, I do think there is, the resting thing that we've talked about for weeks and weeks now. Like, I think it's fine. I think it's good, but at some point it becomes a little too much. And we saw it a few years ago with the Deshaun Patrick Mahomes matchup, Texans Chiefs. So could we be in another situation like that? I don't know. Could be. So
well, let's hope that they close out, because that was it's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Steelers Ravens. Let's move along to this game. I don't think there's much to talk about in this game. Let me ask you this question. Outside of the Ravens running game, was there any part of either team that you were like, yeah, this is good? Outside of the Ravens running game, because even the Ravens passing game was like, I don't know, a little hit or miss here.
The Ravens run defense, but I mean, Najee Harris.
That's fair.
You'd be hard pressed to find a game where Najee Harris runs for more than 4 yards a carry.
Yeah.
He's not good. And whoever overpays for him in free agency is going to regret it.
Which someone will. Because of all the successful free agent signings this past offseason, everyone's going to overpay for running backs this year. Rico Dowdle's going to get a bag. Najee Harris is going to get a bag. So continue.
I think if he goes to a team with a good scheme that knows how to utilize, what is he good at?
I don't know.
Bigger than everybody? Because that's really what he's not fast. He's not agile. Like, and this isn't saying he's not fast or agile, like as a person, like just relative to like NFL defenses. He's not fast. He's not agile. He's not quick.
I feel like he's like
can't catch the ball.
I feel like he's pretty decent at just like falling forward a couple extra yards.
Yeah, that's
Like I
pretty
think that's
much
the
it.
only thing that he's like above the half of the league at the running back position in.
Yeah, I don't know his place. He's not very good.
Yeah. But yeah, the
No,
Ravens' run defense looked good. They did.
the Ravens. I don't know, dude. I think their entire identity this game was like, we're just gonna fucking pound the ball down the Steelers' throat.
Yeah.
We don't care. Like, they didn't try to do anything else. They weren't trying to throw the ball because they didn't need to. They were running the clock down. The Steelers couldn't touch it. They had the ball for 40 fucking minutes. They didn't need to throw it. Why would they throw it? They had the lead early and often, and there was no reason for them to throw the ball at all.
Yeah. And when you consider Zay Flowers in this game, like that, I mean, their wide receiving core was Nelson Aguilar, Rashad Bateman, Tylan Wallace, and Anthony Miller. Like that was their wide receiving core in this game. None of which got above. Aguilar had 25 yards. Rashad Bateman had 24. Like, yeah, they had Likely for 53 yards, Andrews for 27, but like they didn't have to do anything. So yes, when you're considering that, like without your number one wide receiver option, and you have this ability to just run the ball as efficiently as they did all game, all season, why would you go against that? Especially when you could stop the run just as well and just play single coverage all the way around and just say, hey, Mr. Unlimited, try and beat us. See what you got for us. And it eventually turned into a George Pickens spectacular show, which was kind of fun for like this game was fun for like one drive where it was just throw it to Pickens and see what happens. Outside of that, the rest of the game was not great.
Yeah, there was this flash of hope in the third quarter.
Yeah,
for the Steelers, but it went out quickly.
Exactly. It was just minor. Also, then Justin Fields came in, and everyone was like, "Well, Justin Fields is taking over. Let's see what happens here." And then he was out like right afterwards. Yeah,
I legitimately thought they should have. He was 4-2.
So too. Yeah,
he was 4-2 this season.
It makes no sense. Like when you look at Russ's stat line,
Russ ended the season with a losing record.
Yeah, exactly. And like you look at Russ's stat line in this game, you're like 20 for 29, 270, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Like that's not the worst in the world, but he also just didn't do anything to help his team try and win this game. I feel like Justin Fields at least adds that element, right? And so, yeah, the fact that they never went to them at some point should be why Mike Tomlin gets fired. How do you feel about, do you think Mike Tomlin should be fired? Let's ask that.
Yeah, I think he's gone a little bit outdated. He's like Belichick, but a lot younger. And also not as successful. But
yes,
it just feels like a lot of his stuff is outdated. He needs to change the way he views the game. And he needs a quarterback. But even when he had a quarterback, they couldn't get over the top.
True.
So, I mean, they were really good there for 5 or 6 years with the 3 Bs or whatever.
Yeah,
killer bees.
Yeah.
And they just haven't been able to reach that success. I mean, it's pretty incredible that they don't lose. They don't have losing seasons. That's really tough to do, especially in a division where the Ravens are really good. The Bengals are pretty much always hovering around 5. Like the Bengals were really bad for 2 or 3 years, but for the most part, they've been a playoff team 9 times since 2000. Like they're typically competing. And that's hard to do. You can't knock it, what he's doing, but at some point it gets stale, it gets stagnant, and you need to change. It's better for everybody if you move on and try and change the trajectory. Maybe they haven't felt like they see somebody outside of the organization that they want to replace him. Because, I mean, you could have said Vrabel. You could have said, like, you're not going to go Belichick because the Steelers are obviously their family-owned organization. They're not from someone who got rich off of venture capitalism. They bought the team for, like, $25,000 back in the 30s. So they want someone who is going to be part of the family. They want someone who they feel like is going to be ingrained with the culture. And it's hard to do that with someone like a Ben Johnson or an Aaron Glenn who's never had the reputation. Never had the head coaching part. You don't know how good they're gonna be. They don't really feel like you don't. If you tell me Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson is gonna be the Steelers coach, I don't really feel like that fits. You know,
Yeah.
It has to be someone who's going to fit with the culture. And I think maybe that's what they're waiting for.
Can I give you a potential hire?
Go ahead.
It feels like Pete Carroll would be a fit for the Steelers organization.
But they want someone who's going to be a head coach for like Pete Carroll could die in 6 years. Not to be harsh, but like he's old. He could easily die in the next 6 years.
I think they would be looking for someone who's well established. That way they can continue this momentum of, continuously having these winning seasons, continuously making the playoffs.
You know who could like kind of has that feel? Brian Flores.
Yeah, Brian Flores. Yeah, I could feel that. Yeah. That would make sense. I wouldn't mind that. And I like Brian Flores as a coach. Wouldn't mind him as a Dallas coach. But anyways, yeah, this is a good game. Ravens win. Good job by them. We'll talk about them as the matchup with the Bills comes up. And let's talk about the Bills. I don't know how much we need to talk about in this game, but this felt like a absolute masterclass. And we, as members of the Ordinary League of Gentlemen, whatever our league name is, do not use the word masterclass lightly. But this was a Buffalo
very much
Bills.
Do.
No, we use it for very high intent. This was a Buffalo Bills masterclass against the Denver Broncos. Not a Bo Nix masterclass, a Buffalo Bills masterclass. How'd you feel about this game? Because I felt just the Bills' performance was just unreal. Do you want to complain about the refs first? Do you want to get that out of the way?
So I don't think it affected the game. Disclaimer.
Yeah.
I don't think it affected the game majorly. I still don't think the Broncos win if these calls go their way, but I think this game could have been closer and it should have been closer.
Yeah.
The first one was the punt return where Matt Collins lays him the fuck out, and then the long snapper comes out of nowhere and starts like juggling the ball while Marvin Mims is trying to get up off the ground and basically taunting him. And then like the Broncos player like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And they come up and push him, throw the foul. Every time that happens, just do offsetting penalties. Yeah. If someone taunts someone and the other team defends themselves, offsetting. That's all you got to do. Like, don't just punish the person who's like coming back and defending their guy. Get the instigator too. And just say,
yeah, I feel like the NFL refs are like 50-50 on that. It's always either they do offsetting penalties or they do whoever retaliates, and it's never the person who starts it. They are always like, it's kind of this hard drawn like 50-50 line. Sometimes they do offsetting, sometimes they do whoever is the last person to do it, but they will never for some reason give it to the person who starts it.
I think it's because they have like goldfish memory, so they just don't remember who started it. And it's like, oh, okay.
NFL refs are just stupid.
Unless it's extremely severe where he like fucking takes off his face mask and bashes his face in, like you're not going to see the, like Myles Garrett was.
Yeah, I was about to say shout out
the
Myles
instigator in that. So that one cost the Broncos 15 yards on that drive. And I think that was when they were trying to kick the field goal and they missed the field goal because it was too far. They probably would have made that if they had those 15 yards. But granted, you can't say that they're going to get as far on the drive if it opens a whole can of worms, butterfly effect, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
The next one is the Josh Allen hospital pass, lays it out 30 feet in the air. I don't know what the defensive back is supposed to do there. I don't think the right thing is to punish him on that play. You feel like you have to punish them because those are the rules. He changed the trajectory of his helmet and his head to make shoulder-to-shoulder contact. It looked bad in real time, but you cannot bail out the quarterback in those situations. I just don't think you can.
See, I said this to you. I said it's one of those things where, like, yeah, you can't, like, it's hard to put the blame on the defensive player here. It's also hard to blame the referees for being like, yeah, it's forcible contact to the head or neck area. Like, we have to basically throw the flag here. Like, you're almost forced to just because of the wording of the rule. It's not targeting, it's forcible contact to the head or the neck, right? Like, just because of how the rule is listed in the NFL rulebook, you basically have to call that. So I understand, like, yes, it's quarterback. Yes, what's the defensive player supposed to do? But also it's like, yes, the NFL the refs just kind of have to call that. just because of how the NFL has worded that rule. So that's why I like targeting better personally, but continue.
And then I don't think he caught the ball. I think
Yeah.
it shuffled and his foot was out of bounds. And I don't think the broadcast really pointed that out. And I just don't think they got that call right. I understand.
And overall,
I understand not overturning it. And I understand not making, like, when you see that happen, you're probably going to just say, oh, touchdown. Yeah, that was fucking cool. Like,
yeah.
But I don't know. I think they could have overturned it. I think there's enough evidence, but they should be able to slow it down to like a millisecond to like say, oh, here the ball moved and his foot is out of bounds. But anyways, other than that, the Broncos couldn't move the fucking ball.
Yeah.
The Bills had the ball the entire game. We're just running it down their throats. The Broncos were not playing very physical. They got outclassed physically, and their pass defense was fine, but they just could not contain the run, and Josh Allen could not be taken down. And I think they need more weapons. Courtland Sutton's not a number one. Marvin Mims is a utility guy. Troy Franklin is fine. He's a wide receiver 3 at best.
Yeah.
Devon
have no
Bailey
running backs.
fell off. They have no running backs. They need offensive weapons, and I don't know if they can with the cap situation, or if they try and trade up and draft somebody like a McMillan, like you said, or
Cam Scatterboo late in
that'd be
third
fun,
round.
But I don't think they can waste. They need to get somebody
take
on
like
the back
a
end of the defense. They need like a safety too on defense. Fair. So
take like a Luther Burden late in the first round, wide receiver out of Mizzou. Take a safety second round. Take Cam Scatterboo third round. That's like perfect. That's how you want it. That's how you want this to play out. If you're a Broncos fan, just get like fun weapons. Just get new fun weapons. It doesn't feel like they have new fun guys.
They need a consistently good wide receiver. They need a wide receiver 1. I don't think adding another like fun. They have like 4 fun wide receivers. They don't need any more fun wide receivers.
Well, and by fun, I just meant more like new shiny toy fun, more than like an actual like fun to watch. Like Burden's not necessarily like a fun to watch guy, but like he's a new shiny toy. So, and I think Burden could potentially be a number 1 wide receiver. So they got options, but on the Bills side of this is a great game by them. Like if I were to script the Bills game, it would say Josh Allen throws just short of 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. James Cook runs the ball for 100 plus and a touchdown. And then their like wide receivers are spread out between 60, 70 yards at the top. And then like Kincaid and Knox 47, 38. Like that's just perfect. Like everything that you want out of this game just felt perfect for the Bills. I think their defense played good. I didn't think they had to play great. Obviously, they're still a little banged up, so there's still a little bit of questions with what they end up doing or how far they go, especially against a team like the Ravens. But we'll see. This was a great first step by them, and it was just a simple, hey, we have a job to do. Let's take care of business. And it felt like that's what they had. That felt like what they had to do, and they did it. So good by them.
Bills are a great wild card weekend team.
They are. They
rarely lose. They take care of business.
Exactly. Doug Peterson, great coach. Or not Doug Peterson. I'm stupid. What's the Bills coach name?
Sean McDermott.
Sean McDermott, yes. Oh my gosh.
Fucking close. The only thing is Doug McDermott. That's the only
Dougie McBuckets as the head coach of the Bills. Oh, I'm an idiot. Also, Sean Payton has a 700 winning percentage against bald coaches was a stat that got thrown around relentlessly for like 2 days. What? Like, why? People were betting the Broncos off this. Are we that stupid to where we see like a dumb stat on Twitter about a bald guy and go, that's what I'm betting? Like, this is stupid. Anyways, that's my side tangent. I was about to say I hate bald people, but that just feels offensive. Bald is not my preference. Anyways. Packers Eagles.
Not a big Eve guy.
Packers Eagles. This was
not a big Sinead O'Connor fan.
Yeah, that's fair. Packers Eagles. This was the most frustrating game of the weekend. As me as an Eagles hater and me as a Dallas Cowboys fan who watched the Packers just run up and down all over us last year in the playoffs. and they couldn't do anything in this game. Let me ask you this. This feels like a weird year from the Packers, but they ended up being 11-6. They ended up going to the playoffs. They ended up being the 7th seed, which isn't great, but they ended up making the playoffs. Jordan Love was inconsistent, or not inconsistent, but he was in and out of the lineup all year. They couldn't really find the consistency from the wide receivers that they were hoping for. Is this a good season for the Packers? Is this a letdown season for the Packers? Like, what do we think about this? Because I have no clue how to establish how this season played out for the Packers.
I think here's my deal with the Packers. I think their defense ended up being better than they thought, and their offense ended up being worse than they thought.
Yeah.
So I think if you're a fan or if you're a casual onlooker, you're probably thinking, well, their offense looked like shit, but their defense was pretty good.
Yeah.
And it kind of surprises you, and you're kind of taken aback because you expected the offense to be better. But I mean, if you take a step back and kind of look at their offense, I mean, Josh Jacobs is really good. Josh Jacobs is really good. Christian Watson plays like 10 games a year. And they're not all at the same time. They're like sporadically.
Yeah.
Like put
3
in
games
and
here, out for 4 games, another 4 games back in.
Yeah. They didn't seem to know what the fuck to do with Jaden Reed.
Nope.
They didn't know what to do with Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs was also out of the lineup all season. I think he played 11 games, right?
Or he was in and out. 8. Yeah, he was in and out basically all season.
Dontavian Wicks is okay. Like, he's fine. He's like a slot guy who can burn down the field every now and then.
Yeah.
I just don't think their weapons are that good. I think they had enough guys who were talented at enough things to like get by on offense. I just don't think they have a consistent guy who stays healthy, who is a possession receiver, who can get themselves open consistently, who doesn't need to be schemed open. I don't think they had that guy. I don't think they had a guy that they could throw 50-50 balls to consistently. And I also don't think Jordan Love was healthy. I genuinely don't think he was healthy. I think he came back too fast from his injury. After winning 2 games with Malik Willis, they should have said, okay, let's give him a couple more games, let him rest, see what we can do. I think he came back too early, and he looked hobbled the first 3 games that he came back. And then the rest of the season, he just felt a little off. I'm curious to see how he looks coming back next year. But
and they let him sit out the second half of the last game of the year, which ended up getting them into the situation with the Eagles, right? Like, they tried to protect him. It just wasn't working. So we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do next year. Because at the end of the day, it's Jordan Love, it's Josh Jacobs coming back next year. They got guys. We don't know who their top guys are. We don't know if guys are going to be healthy or not all year, but they got guys. So, and their defense will be fine next year too. McKinney, Quay Walker, they got guys.
I think
Duffy.
Because I was reading shit on Reddit about Love, and they were just trashing him, and I'm like, the difference between like Love and Herbert to me is that we saw Love win a playoff game, absolutely destroyed the Cowboys in their own arena or stadium, and then he went to San Francisco, who was the most talented team in the league. I don't think the Chiefs were more talented than them. Do you? Last year?
I don't know. Their defense had a lot of fucking talent last year.
I think it was the Ravens and the Niners that were the most talented team, and the Chiefs were the team that made the least amount of mistakes.
Yeah.
I'll accept arguments to say that the Chiefs were one of the most talented, but I think the Niners and the Ravens were more talented. They just made more mistakes consistently, and the Chiefs didn't make the mistakes that they did. So, anyways, my point being, Jordan Love went and played the most talented team in the league and competed his ass off, almost won the game. Like, it came down to the last 2 minutes of the game. Yeah. We've not seen Herbert in that situation. And people are trashing the Packers and saying that Jordan Love is like one of the worst contracts in the league coming up. I just don't, I can't agree with that yet. If he comes out and plays like shit and they're 8-9 next year or 9-8, I'll understand it, but this is a 10-12 win team until I see otherwise.
Yeah.
And Jordan Love is a good quarterback. I don't know if he's a top 7 quarterback in the league, but I think he could certainly get there at some point.
Well, and I think that's the thing with the Packers, right? Is one, the Jordan Love piece. He's the third highest paid quarterback in the league. Like, and that's one of the, like, I was going to text you this because you were like, as an NFL wide receiver, you got to make that catch, talking about Malik Heath, who has basically played minimal all season. Like, you were like, as an NFL wide receiver, you got to make that catch. And I was like, as the third highest paid quarterback in the league, you should probably make a little bit better of a throw. Like, that's how my mind works, where it's like, all right, if I'm paying you as the third highest quarterback, like, that was my issue with Russell Wilson for the longest time. Russell Wilson was the highest paid quarterback in the league for a very long time. And that's not why they won Super Bowls. It was not because of him. And he never won MVP, never became close to winning MVP. I wonder if Jordan Love's going to be in that same situation, right? And to your point about the weapons, it's like, you got all these guys, you got all these names where you're like, they could be really good. They could be these number one wide receivers, which makes the team go, well, hey, we don't need any more wide receivers. We don't need to expand this at all. So that's my main concern is you're paying Jordan Love so much money. You got a bunch of wide receivers who are still on rookie deals, who are still young and you think could blossom into something, when in reality, they just might not. So what do you do when you have a guy who's being paid the third best quarterback money and you have all these wide receivers that you're hoping are going to turn out to be undisputed wide receiver ones and none of them do? You kind of just end up in this zone of mediocrity, almost like the Pittsburgh Steelers, where it's like, hey, we're going to win 10 games every year because we've got Matt LaFleur, Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and a bunch of guys at wide receiver, but we're not going to do anything especially great outside of that. Because I think LaFleur is a good enough coach to basically get them to the playoffs every year. I think Jordan Love's a good enough quarterback to get them to the playoffs every year. But it's, can they make that extra step? Can they be a Super Bowl contender? I don't know. We'll have to see what that looks like next year. If Jordan Love takes another step up, I'd be more convinced on them being good. On the flip side, the Eagles, they're good. We know they're good. They don't have to do anything. I've come to realize that Jalen Hurts can play just Jalen Hurts games where it's like, all right, you did this well, you did this pretty good, and Saquon Barkley had 25 carries for 115, whatever. So you don't have to do too much. I've just become resigned to the fact that the Eagles don't have to do anything special, and they'll just win games super comfortably like they did today. Is that how you see them too?
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to the BS podcast. Jalen Hurts, playoff wins. He's never thrown over 200 yards in one.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
He doesn't need to do anything. He literally does not need to do anything. He has enough vertical threats to where he can hand off the ball and the line will make space. They don't need to move the ball. They literally will just. And here's the point. I wish I could argue with the podcast I'm listening to sometimes. Bill was like, why don't they get up and run some fast plays? They're always letting people adjust. They're letting the people get in subs. Like, You got A.J. Brown, you got Devontae Smith. Let them, do something. That's not what the Eagles are. That's not who Jalen Hurts is. Because Jalen Hurts is not good. He's not a good quarterback.
No.
I've come to be resigned to the fact. Is he maybe the best game manager in the league? Have you come to consider that? Outside of Patrick, it's Patrick Mahomes, number one. Yeah. He's the best game manager in the league because he can drive the ball for 7 minutes all day long if he 100% needs to. The next is Jalen Hurts. If he needs to, every drive they have lasts at least 4 minutes. Might not get to the 50-yard line, but it's damn sure going to last for 4 fucking minutes.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It's astonishing. They can score 22 points. What was their time of possession? It's probably one of the highest time of possessions for a 22-minute point game or 22-point game of all time.
It was actually split. It was actually pretty split in this game. They had 30 minutes. The Packers had 29. It was actually split in this game. Felt like they dominated it way more.
It felt like the Eagles had the ball the entire game.
Yeah, it did. That's kind of weird. But yeah, to your point, when we normally talk about game managers, we talk about the Peyton Manning types. We talk about the guys who, have to have these kind of slow-paced offenses and just pick apart defenses with the throw. The Jalen Hurts specifically basically does the opposite of that, where it's like, yeah, we can just control with our legs. We control with the ground game. We make the passes when we need to. We don't need to do anything special. I don't know. It's just kind of a different type of game management than we've seen in the past. So it's actually fascinating to think about him as a game manager like that when we haven't in the past. So, all right, let's get to the time of the podcast where I get a raging boner and talk about Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders, because there is nothing I love more in this world than acknowledging how great Jaden Daniels is. Another incredible performance. I mean, 24 for 35, 268, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions in his first ever playoff game. He's undoubtedly the offensive rookie of the year. He is one of the most exciting players in the league at this point. He led the team in rushing in this game, 13 for 36 on the ground. Also looked like he was about to die like 5 times while he was running, making passes, doing everything that he needs to do. I just thought it was an incredible game. This was the best game of the wild card weekend. What were your thoughts coming out of this game from, just a fun perspective? Because this was definitely the most fun matchup by far.
Well, I could tell you my thoughts during the first half, but that would mostly include, or it would mostly be thoughts of cooking stuff, because that's what I was doing during the first half. Unfortunately,
I was also cooking stuff, as I normally do. 'Tis my tradition. I was also thinking about Maria Taylor a lot in the first half, but I'll let you continue.
Anyways, I don't know. Buccaneers just shot themselves in the foot this game.
Yeah.
I don't think the Commanders are like end of game Mastros. Like, they're just fucking
not.
lucky as shit. They're just really fucking lucky, dude.
Let's be honest. They're not. However, they have won a lot of really close games, so it's really impressive.
No, good for them. Yeah. They should be a playoff team for a while.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get absolutely curb stomped next week. I don't think they have a shot in fucking hell.
There's no there's no potential Packers like last season. Jordan Love goes out, great first game, and then comes out the second game against a really talented team and just kind of keeps them in it. You don't think there's any of that? I think there's a little bit.
I don't know, man. I don't think their defense is good enough. They literally got handed 2 stops.
That is true.
They got the weird fumble from Baker, and then they got the weird snap. I don't know what happened with the Buccaneers offense near the end of the game. And, maybe that's what Tom Brady was talking about when Baker was like, oh, yeah, people were stressed, they relaxed.
Yeah.
But, the guys performed under Brady. They didn't make brainless mistakes like this.
Sure.
Baker, brainless mistake. The center, brainless mistake. Just, you got to get on guys sometimes. You got to yell at them. You got to tell them to not eat strawberries anymore.
Yeah.
Only avocado seeds
or
whatever.
I can't eat strawberries, so.
Yeah, you should join the Buccaneers.
But also, I don't like avocados. Did you know that humans are the only species on this planet that are able to eat avocados? Like if a dog eats an avocado, they get like violently sick. Any other like animal, if they eat avocado, they get sick. Avocados
I feel like
are disgusting.
I don't think there's enough science. They've gone and fed avocados to every single living animal.
I mean, have
fed an avocado
to all that.
They fed avocados to like fucking
an aardvark
to elk.
I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
to aardvark.
They could have. I don't know. I saw the study.
You're telling me they fed a wolverine an avocado? I refuse to believe it. I will believe that a wolverine cannot digest an avocado when I see it.
I'd be sick. Can we get this set up? Also, where do you get a wolverine? Are wolverines at like zoos and stuff?
Tasmania.
Yeah. Or like the DC comics. Yeah. All right.
That's some fucking Marvel.
Oh yeah, he is a Marvel character.
Jesus Christ.
First the Doug Peterson thing, now this. Anyways, Buccaneers, they did a lot wrong in this game. They also if I would have told you the Buccaneers lost and then told you Baker's stat line, you would have been like, yeah, of course they lost. Baker had 15 completions for 185 yards. That's not a winning recipe for the Buccaneers. Bucky Irving, 17 for 77 on the ground. He was good. They got Cade Otton back. They got Rachaad White back, kind of like what I was talking about. And they both had their moments where they were like, yeah, this is a good play. But they only went to him twice. The only other people that they went to in this game were Evans and McMillan and Bucky Irving. Like, they had 5 guys. And, if you're
Yeah,
outside of the
typically
Eagles,
when you have 5 guys during the game,
usually leads
doesn't
to
go well.
Yeah, usually leads to a bathroom break at halftime. So, yeah, they had 5 guys, and then they took a massive stinker. That's what I do on a Sunday night. There you go. I found the punchline. Buccaneers were not good in this game. They definitely missed Chris Godwin. I think
Baker Mayfield only had 5 guys, and he dropped a round brown ball.
They definitely missed Chris Godwin. We'll see how he comes back next year. We'll see if Jalen McMillan can take a step forward. But they had some other guys on their team this year where I was like, they should be able to utilize them. Sterling Shepard's on this team. They couldn't get him involved at all. He probably just sucks, but we were kind of giving him the Giants break where it was like, oh, you're on the Giants. You'll be fine on another team, But yeah, he might just suck.
Wait till fucking Wan'Dale Robinson is on the Buffalo Bills.
It's a good point. This was a good game. This was the best game of the weekend. We'll see if the Commanders can do anything against the Lions. I'm looking forward to it. I think they can. Rams-Vikings in the Arizona Cardinals. Beautiful stadium due to the wildfires in Los Angeles. I know everything has been not cleared up, but they've gone back to playing sporting events in LA now. I know that the Clippers and the Lakers started playing again. I think the Kings were playing a home game too. So hopefully things are clearing up out there. I have a lot of people in my life who live in the Southern California area. So keeping them in our thoughts. This was an emotional game. Felt like the Rams came out with a lot of passion. I don't know how much the fires impacted things, but they definitely came out with some motivation on the line, and they definitely came out with guns blazing, and they were looking to get the job done. Their defense was unbelievable in this game. Absolutely unbelievable. Just felt like Kirk Cousins got no time whatsoever. Felt like they were all over them.
Hold on.
Go ahead. What?
Who didn't get any time?
Oh, I said Kirk Cousins. Dude, I'm off today. I'm all over the place. We had poker night tonight, so I watched the first half from poker night. I was the first person out. I couldn't get cards to save my life. Listen, my brain's a jumbled mess. I'm tired. These workouts are kicking my ass. Sam Darnold. You know why I thought of Kirk Cousins? Because I was like, oh, wait, it's the Vikings on Monday Night Football. Of course they're going to lose. And then I was like, oh, wait, that's just a Kirk Cousins thing.
But they had Aaron Jones. What happened?
That's true. And then I thought of that. I thought Monday night Aaron Jones is going to come to play. And he didn't look healthy in this game. I don't know about you, but yeah, he didn't look healthy. The line just got absolutely destroyed. And this was a line that's been pretty good all year from Minnesota's standpoint. They've been able to protect Sam Darnold pretty well. They've been able to run the ball. They've been able to get their weapons involved. They've been able to do a lot of things this year. And this was just a complete meltdown, I guess, is the only way to put this, where it just felt like everything that they did well throughout the season, they suddenly were terrible at. And when your stuff that is good got you to this point, and now all of a sudden it's bad, you're not going to have a lot to lean back on to try and be good again. So did you feel the same way during this matchup? Because that's just how it felt to me. It just felt like the Vikings just didn't do anything that they did all season.
Here's my Sam Darnold theory.
Not Kirk Cousins?
All right. Not Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is never starting another NFL game. Unless Penix gets injured. Yeah. Here's my Sam Darnold theory.
Okay.
All right. Do you read any pop psychology? Do you know enough about pop psychology?
No, I don't.
What do you mean? Exposure therapy. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay. So Sam Darnold played enough games in the NFL to where he had experienced exposure therapy.
Okay.
And he was not afraid of the regular season games. He has arm talent.
Yeah.
Clearly he's athletic. Clearly he can semi-read a football field. His issue was mental. He needed exposure to enough NFL games and confidence to play well.
Yeah.
Now, he hasn't been exposed to the bright lights, right?
Yeah,
These past 2 games have been the highest stakes games that he's played in all season.
Yeah.
He
hasn't done like red light therapy.
He hasn't done the exposure therapy. He hasn't done the stress therapy to be able to handle these situations properly.
He's got to start cold plunging.
He's got a cold plunge. He's got a...
he's been sitting in the cushy sauna. He needs to cold plunge. He needs to do some red light therapy. He needs to really get in the weeds.
He needs... he needs cold plunge to steam room to cold plunge to steam room.
Yep.
And then ice packs on the shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Serious
maybe
massage.
A little ayahuasca trip.
Ayahuasca.
Yeah.
I was gonna say kava.
Could do some,
not
could do
the restaurant,
kava.
but some kava.
Yep. Kava's good. We do kava pretty frequently.
So, he needs exposure to the bright lights. He clearly was not ready for them. The lights were too bright, and we'll see. He did the Vikings a massive favor because now they don't have to pay him $40 million.
Yes. And
he
they can
did
just
them
keep
a
JJ
huge
McCarthy,
favor.
who would have been the first quarterback taken in this draft, by the way.
God damn.
For my haters out there.
For the 30 haters that we now have. Tom, James, Michael.
Oh, I could pull up these fuckers' Instagram accounts right now. They don't think JJ McCarthy would go number 1 in this draft.
X7 _ MT45. Fuck you.
Fuck our haters, bro.
Fuck you.
How
guys.
Continue.
So yeah, get Sam Darnold a nice little $25 million a year contract.
Yeah. With like the Raiders.
Let him do stuff in the regular season. If you're a Vikings fan, you're ecstatic with this season. I think you wait until there's like the generational guy tank that season. You trade everybody for assets except maybe Justin Jefferson. I don't know.
Yeah. I think Justin Jefferson by himself is just good enough for this team to make the playoffs every year, no matter who's throwing to him. If JJ McCarthy turns out to be good, then good for them, right? Like, it's kind of one of those things where, hey, you had a year of layover almost, where it's like, all right, let's see what we have next season. And now you get to go to next season with a lot of confidence saying, hey, we won 14 games last year. There's real quick, there's something weird with O'Connell's contract. I think like his contract is up at the end of the season and they just haven't re-signed him yet. It's almost like a weird Mike McCarthy thing. Or I think there were some sort of like teams that wanted to talk to O'Connell because his contract was up. I don't know what's going on there. They should re-sign him because I think he's a good coach, but we'll see how that plays itself out. It was weird. I saw the story and I was like, this just doesn't sound right.
He's going to win the coach of the year.
Yeah, but his contract's up and they haven't re-signed him. Like he was...
They'll re-sign him.
That's what I'm saying is like, there were other teams talking about like, hey, let's talk to O'Connell after their season's done. Because it's not like the OC and DC situation where you can just talk to them. Like you have to wait till the season's done with the head coach. And there were a couple teams who were just like, hey, let's just go talk to O'Connell after the season. It's really weird. So hopefully that plays itself out. Hopefully they keep him because I think he's a good coach. Rams were incredible. The question is, can they have this type of defensive performance against the Eagles? And if they can't have this type of defensive performance, which I doubt that they're going to be able to sack Jalen Hurts 9 times. They sacked him 9 times in this game. That's absolutely disgusting. Like, if you're not going to be able to do that, then how much offensively can you get? Can you get 100 plus out of Puka and Cooper Kupp and then also have like 75 on the ground from Kyren? We'll see. I don't know. It'll be tough. It's an interesting situation, but the team looked good today. So I was pleasantly surprised by their defensive performance, and then their offensive performance just didn't feel like they had to do too much. Kyren Williams was really good in this game though. So, which he normally is. We talk about him all the time. Can we get a Rams-Lions NFC playoff rematch? Manifestation? Our manifestation has not worked this year.
No, it hasn't.
We haven't been journaling enough. We've just been manifesting. We need like a vision board.
Do you have your dream catcher hung above?
I have my journal right here, but I haven't
let's
down
read it
Lions
out for us right now. Read
I'm
the
not reading
15th page. Read
well,
your journal.
This is
live
a new
on-
one for the start of the year.
It's a new one, so you haven't filled out. So read the 13th day. Read your day today, Nick. I'm
I
curious
haven't
to
written my
hear
day today.
your thoughts.
I need to write my day today. I do it at the end of the night.
Here, all right. This is
I'll
what
write
I
it down
want
in
to
my
do.
journal. Okay.
The Rams killed them. I like the Rams.
Yeah.
Here's an idea I have for you.
Okay.
Let's rank the hottest teams in the NFL. And I'm not talking about like Kieran Williams, handsome guy, but that's not the kind of hot that we're ranking. We're ranking the teams that are on heaters.
Okay.
Who do you think are the hottest teams from top to bottom?
I think my number one is probably the Bills, actually.
Okay.
I feel like the Bills have to be in the top 3. I feel like the Eagles have to be in the top 3. Are the Rams top 3, though? I don't know. They are on a heater. But it doesn't feel like they're a top 3 to me. I don't know. I'd say like Bills, Eagles, Chiefs are probably my top 3.
Chiefs?
I mean, they've lost one game all year. Like,
Yeah, but like they're not on fire. You know,
That's
they're just
fair.
like
That's fair.
they're skirting by.
yeah, that's fair.
I
But it
feel
also
like
feels like the Lions are
Ravens-
kind of like that way. The Ravens could be a top 3.
I think
the
it's
tops-
between the 4 Sunday teams.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Yeah.
Because I mean the Rams were like 2-4 or like 2-6, and they're in the playoffs. I don't know what their record was, but they were bad.
Yeah. They've definitely
Now
been
they're in
on
the
fire.
playoffs.
But like for me in my mind, they've been on fire for winning games, but it doesn't feel like everything's like clicked super well for them. This was the first time I felt like things have like really clicked for them in this like massive streak that they've been on.
I think Tyler Higbee getting adjusted has been huge.
Well, he got hurt in this game again, but hopefully he
What
comes
happened?
back.
At the end?
Yeah, I think this was later in the game. I saw him go off again.
Oh, they probably just took him out for
They could have just taken him out. Yeah, I don't know,
precautionary reasons.
because he looked good in this game.
Oh, that kid has the worst fucking mullet I've ever seen in my life.
Tyler Higbee.
I'm sorry. It's playing the highlights. I looked down and I
Oh.
saw the worst mullet I've ever seen in my life. That was just
Uh,
astonishing. I'll see
That's
if I
funny.
can find it. I'll send you a picture.
it's funny.
Quite hilarious.
Cooper Kupp had what braids in this game, right?
Yeah, they
Impressive.
should have lost because of that.
White boy braids. It's not the worst move in the world. It's not the best either.
They were
but
telling me at work to get braids.
you should.
I'm not going to do that.
Oh wait, no. Yeah, the Rams play the Eagles. Yeah,
Let
I
me
was
see if
I
I
was thinking
can-
for a second that the Rams just played
I'm
the
trying
Lions
to
next
pause
week.
it, but all right, I got it.
Okay, just take a picture and send it to me. Let's do a preview of the next round, shall we? But yeah, I think those 4 teams in that Sunday card, the Rams, Eagles, Ravens, Bills, probably the 4 hottest teams in the league right now. If I had to say who
All right,
my
I
4
sent it.
hottest
You
are.
got to open it right now.
I have to open it like right this second.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at it right this second. That is a terrible mullet. Jesus Christ, that is a bad mullet. Wow. Kids' parents need to.
They
Get him a
need to
haircut.
call CPS.
Yeah,
Get CPS on the phone right now.
that's bad.
Give them
Well-
to the system.
Well, we are here. It's the divisional round, Saturday and Sunday. 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. I do like not having a Sunday night football game. I don't know why. Plus, it means we can record a lot earlier, which is really good for us. I definitely won't mind that. But let's break these matchups down. Let's do our predictions. Texans Chiefs is the first game, 2:30. You could basically just, if the Texans are in the playoffs, you can just guarantee that they're a 2:30 Saturday game, no matter what weekend it is. Even if they make the conference championship, if they make the Super Bowl, I think they're just going to flex it to Saturday at 2:30
Saturday.
at this point. It
That would help with a lot of people's hangovers, man.
actually would, yeah. I wouldn't mind that. It wouldn't be the worst
I've been
case
waiting.
scenario.
I've been waiting.
Yeah, Saturday Super Bowl.
Let's just move Martin Luther King's birthday to the day after.
Yeah, why do we have MLK his birthday? Why do we have his birthday, but we can't just get the Super Bowl off the day after the Super Bowl off? I don't get that. Or why can't we just move that around? That makes sense, actually.
Just-
I
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
They conjured up Juneteenth out of nowhere.
Yeah. Can we conjure up?
Yeah, conjure up
day after Super Bowl
day after Super Bowl.
Yeah. All right. Texans Chiefs. This is the first game.
DASB.
This is the first game of the playoffs. Chiefs are at home. They are favored by 7.5 in this game. How do you see this game playing out?
I could not write you a game script if I had 20 hours. I don't think I could write a game script for this game.
I have a game script. Are you ready?
I'm very excited. Yes, go ahead.
Exactly like that last Texans Chiefs playoff game that we were talking about, the Deshaun game, where they go up 28. It was 28-0, right? And then they come back. Except for in this game, it's not going to be that exciting. They're going to go up 10-0. And then the Chiefs are going to come back and win like 17-10.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be that exact same game. Texans start off hot early, but by hot, I mean like lucky touchdown to Nico Collins on like a blown coverage and then like get into field goal range. That's how this game's going to play out. I can feel that.
What do you think the odds are that the announcers say that the Texans offense is out of sorts at some point during this game?
High.
I think they've said that every single game I've watched of the Texans.
Yeah,
all the way through. They've said, the Texans offense is looking a little out of sorts right now.
This is the Monday Night Football crew.
That if they're out of sorts, that means they're in sorts. They haven't been.
Well, they can't just say they're the weirdest fuck team on live national television like we have all year.
I wish they would. I wish weird. It'd be Joe Buck. He'd be like, people are saying the Texans are weird AF this year.
Weird AF. It's like the
I feel like I kind of want to hear that again. I feel like that might have been not a bad Joe Buck impression.
It probably wasn't that bad. It's better than whatever impression or AI they have Troy Aikman doing this year, because Troy Aikman does not sound like himself. It's kind of weird. He literally sounds like an AI version of himself, at least for this game. I don't know if he's like sick or something, but Chiefs, they're going to win this game. We'll see how this plays itself out. That's how I feel. Do you have Chiefs? Joe Buck, do you have the Chiefs in this game?
Yeah, Troy. No, that's bad. I lost it. I went to Collinsworth on that one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, Troy.
Saturday night.
What a disgusting act by Randy Moss.
We have the Washington Seawards going to Detroit. Eminem's probably going to be there. Getting the crowd all fired up, making them lose yourself. Mom spaghetti, all that shit. Lions, we'll see how this game plays itself out. This has the highest over-under of the playoffs so far, 55.5, which makes a lot of sense in the world. I could see the Lions getting off to an early lead, Commanders getting some trash time points, making it like close at the end, but hitting the over at the end of the day. Oh, did we go over our locks of the week? I don't even remember what my lock was. I probably didn't even write it down.
Who is give me a lion that you want to see at this, just like the most obscure line you could think of that you'd be like kind of excited. Like you'd be like, oh yeah.
Golden Tate.
Okay.
I don't know if you think of Golden Tate as a lion or not though, but I imagine Golden Tate.
He's more of a Seahawk to me, but yeah.
But I could see Golden Tate being there.
I was thinking Hanson.
I like that, yeah.
I don't even know his first name, but I know his last name's Hanson. He was our kicker for like 15 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. What about Mufasa?
Ndamukong Suh?
Simba? How many Lion King characters can I name? Listen, Lions, they're probably going to kill this game. I think they get off to a really hot start.
I kind of want to see you keep naming them to see where you fuck up.
Nala, Scar.
Okay.
That's probably as far as I can go.
I was waiting for you to say like Sebastian or something.
Ariel, the lion. I think that's all I got. 4 lions from the Lion King. That's a pretty decent number. There's only like 4.
I finally got the joke.
You finally got the joke. You asked what lions are going to be at the game. I said fucking Mufasa. God damn it. We're up too late. This show's gone off the rocker. Oh my god! All right, give me your prediction for this game. You got the Lions.
I was like, why are you naming the Lions?
You asked me what Lions are going to be.
I thought you were doing like a Mufasa plug or something. You were just bringing it up because the movie was coming out.
Jesus.
Because I seen something that was like Scar's animation in the first one, and then it was like showing the like live action, and obviously the live action lion doesn't look like Scar because Scar is a fucking cartoon.
Exactly.
So that's what my head went to. I'm like, why is he making an ad for the Mufasa movie that no one's gonna watch?
I mean, that's basically where I was going with it, but I was also just naming a lion.
No, that'd be a great plug for Disney. Now that I think about
exactly. Yeah, get Scar, Simba, Mufasa.
Have a
all
real.
At the game.
They need to have a real lion. Have they ever
real
had a
lion.
real lion?
Yeah, they could do that.
That'd be cool.
It's like
have a Mon-Ra St. Brown fight him during halftime. It'd be a Mon-Ra's dad. That guy's a monster.
I was gonna say his brother. What's Equinius? Whatever his first name is.
Equestrian.
Equestrian St. Brown. All right, you got the Lions in this game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Mufasa. All right.
Mufasa, Scar, all of them.
Rams Eagles is the 1:00 kickoff for the Sunday games. Eagles are at home. They are favored by 6.5 in this game. I don't know how I feel about this matchup because the Rams did show.
The Rams are going to win.
Rams are going to win. Manifestation. Manifestation. I need to write it in my journal. I'll write it in my journal tonight. Then they'll win. I was really impressed with the Rams. I think they could take this one. I really do. So I hope they win.
They basically just played on the road.
That's true. Yeah. It's not like they're playing home games ever. So I like the Rams in this one. That'd be a good win. I'd like that. I want to see Matthew Stafford have another run. You know,
would there be a less like ceremonial, like second championship? Like if they win the Super Bowl, do people in LA actually start rooting for the Rams? Like, do they rally around them?
They might.
Like if they get to the conference championship, is this like a moment?
I mean, people in LA definitely cheer for the Rams more than they do the Chargers, at least. So it's like you might get a little bit more passionate fans there. Their crowd's not terrible. I've been to a home game for theirs.
I told you about the guy at my work who's a Chargers fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Chargers fan. I wonder if he knows any other ones.
It's a good question. And the Sunday late afternoon night game is the game of the playoffs so far, in my personal opinion. Ravens-Bills. This is the matchup that we all wanted to see. This is what team gets to go try and beat the Chiefs. That's what everyone cares about here. Like that, this matchup is a stepping stone. It really is. It's what team can prove themselves worthy to go try and play the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. And the Ravens are favored by 1 in this game on the road. It doesn't feel like the Ravens are like a better team than the Bills, so I don't understand why they're favored on the road. That feels weird to me. But because they're favored on the road and it feels weird, I feel like I should be picking the Ravens. How do you feel?
Is it possible that Derrick Henry is the best player in this game?
I mean, you have the two people who are going to be splitting votes for MVP, so I mean,
I get it. But I don't know. Derrick Henry is really fucking good.
He is. Yes. And he's arguably the most important X factor in this matchup, where it's like if they can establish a run and Derrick Henry can do Derrick Henry things, they're going to be good. But if they don't, they're not successful doing that, we'll see how that plays itself out, right? So I think that's maybe the skeptical part of things. Also, real quick, I'm looking at season-long stats here. Saquon, 345 carries for 2,005 yards. Derrick Henry, 325 for 1,921. So if he had an extra 20 carries, he also might be at the same level as Saquon Barkley. Just saying.
Yeah, I think he averaged more yards per carry.
Yeah, he did.
He's like 0.1 higher.
Yeah. So, impressive. Derrick Henry, very impressive.
Dude, fuck. I don't want these guys. But here's the thing. The Bills and the Ravens both had a shot at the Chiefs last year.
Yeah.
I don't know how one of them didn't beat them.
Exactly.
Crazy. But I think the Bills are better this year than they were last year, which is shocking.
I agree. I 100% agree. Because the Bills just have something to me where it's like if they execute a game plan, they are unstoppable. As with the Ravens, it's like I feel like even if they play some of their best, it still could lose, right? Like I don't know. Just doesn't feel like the Ravens have that like guaranteed victory in the bag. As with the Bills, it's like if they play their best football, they're winning that football game. So that's why I give the Bills the edge, even though the line is telling me to pick the Ravens. That line is really sketchy. I think that moves. I think it's Bills -1 by kickoff. I think it moves a full 2 points. I don't know.
I could see that. Yeah, I don't buy the Ravens as favorites in this game at all.
Yeah, I agree. It feels off.
What's the forecast? Let's check
it says
the forecast here.
18 degrees.
Is it
no snow is what it says right now.
No percolation?
No snow right now, but there is snow warnings like earlier in the week. A bit of snow in the afternoon actually is what it says currently. So potential for snow. Potential. We'll see. But it does say 18
This could be
degrees.
the greatest game of all time.
It could.
This could be the Super Bowl.
Snow game with the two best offenses in the league with the two MVP candidates. That'd be awesome.
If neither of these teams beat the Chiefs, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. And
I know you won't.
I will play the Super Bowl. I will watch this game, the Ravens-Bills game, over again.
Instead of the Super Bowl.
And then I'll pause it at halftime. I'll watch
the halftime
Kendrick
show.
Lamar.
Okay.
And I'll go back to rewatching the Ravens-Bills.
Fair enough. I don't mind
And
that.
I'll enjoy myself.
Yeah, you can do that. That's fine.
Dude, this girl
Anyways.
behind the kid with the terrible mullet looks...
We're
She
still
looks-
on the mullet.
She looks just like Miranda Cosgrove in the still.
Jesus Christ. All right. That is the NFC divisional round. We look forward to it. Should be a good week, and we'll be able to record at a decent hour next week. That'll be the best part of all this. Pookie of the week, Jane Daniels for me. You got one?
Nico Collins.
Yeah, that's a good one. Really solid. What else do we have? We didn't do Bit Corner last week, so let's make sure that we do a Bit Corner this week. We don't need to do locks and guarantees because
We
I
suck
didn't
at
write them
them.
down last week anyways.
Did we even do them?
I'm pretty sure we did because I talked about, new year, new me when it comes to my locks of the year. And then I think I got it wrong. I actually don't know though. What's your, I'll go back and listen to it because I don't remember what mine was. What is your Bit Corner for this week?
Just, business ideas with the coworkers.
Okay.
I'll run through a few.
Yeah.
One is a yogurt stick. I think it's a stick that you dip in your yogurt and then you dip the yogurt in granola. Because you never get like the right mixture of granola sometimes.
I like that actually.
So you dip it and then I don't know exactly how it works, but
It's not the
you
worst
get the
idea.
concept.
I usually raw dog my yogurt though.
I think it started from honey. The little thing
yeah.
that Winnie the Pooh eats the honey off of.
Mm.
But honey's a bit, I don't know.
It's hard to
The
eat
next
honey
one,
straight.
so I got to tell you this idea, Nick.
Okay.
It's a mutual fund for fantasy football leagues, right? So everyone puts in their $100. You
Okay.
put it in the mutual fund. You get like 5% interest on it throughout the season, and then everyone gets higher payouts.
For 4 months.
Yeah, that
Okay.
makes a difference, man. $1,000, $1,200. You have 5% interest, and then the business aspect of it is that you hold their money. Everyone gets a passcode. They can see that the money's there because you've told me stories of people taking fantasy football, the pay-ins and using them mixing them with their personal finances and not being able to make the payouts at the end of the season.
I've gotten screwed out of over $1,000 at this point.
So here's what you do. Everyone gets a passcode. They can see that the money's in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't withdraw. It's like an actual CD where it has a time limit. You cannot withdraw it without penalty, and this penalty will be severe.
Okay. I like
You cannot
this.
withdraw it and you need another person to sign that it gets withdrawn. You cannot withdraw it without penalty, and then you get the 4 months of interest. But we as the company take it and invest. We open a car dealership where we sell loans to low income,
This got off the
low credit score. And we make buku bucks, bro.
Fair enough. I like this idea, but I also just like it as a fantasy football commissioner because you can just take that interest and keep it as like a tip, you know? Like
Yeah,
I've seen
it's
people,
like a pay.
yeah, I've seen people who like as commissioners will be like, I would take $5 out of everyone's buy-in or something like that as a like fee for running the league every year. And as a commissioner of 2 different leagues this year, I don't hate that idea. So if I throw it into a mutual fund,
Listen,
yeah,
if
just
you
take the
put
interest.
$1,200 in the fund, you get 4% interest on it.
Yeah.
Let's say that's a solid like $25-$30.
Yeah, I take that little commissioner fee. It's not the worst idea.
Make your money work for itself. Don't work
Exactly.
for your money.
Yeah.
Or make your money work for you. Don't work for your money.
All right, is that it?
The last one is we have realized that Pez dispensers have a market, a monopoly on the
They do.
candy dispensing market.
Mm-hmm.
First off, have you ever tried to put Pez in the Pez dispenser? It's fucking impossible.
You should be able to Pez all the time.
You should be able to stick the entire thing in with the wrapper on, shut it, and then as you open it, the wrapper like kind of, like spindles out like a pencil sharpener, or so like somehow there's like a cutting mechanism when you flip the head over, and then it falls out the back when you shut it. Just doesn't seem like a very efficient system to pull them all out and try and shove them in the Pez dispenser. It kind of takes the fun out of it, You're sitting there like, and then we were saying instead of putting like beloved characters on it, we just put like porn stars or something.
Here, can I pitch you a expansion on this idea?
Okay.
So we give this idea.
I'm taking this to the board of directors, so this better be good.
Well, here's where we take this.
And board is spelled BORED.
No, here's where we take this. We take this to actual legitimate businessmen. Okay, we take this to Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, and KSI. Because they love to take these monopolies and say, hey, how do I fit myself into them? So we take this to them, and then instead of like the little characters, the faces are like the streamers or YouTubers and stuff like that. So we give it.
I don't like YouTubers, so
I know you don't, but I'm just saying, like, this is kind of the KSI and Logan Paul model that they did with Prime, where it's like, yeah, fuck Gatorade, or like Mr. Beast did with his chocolate, where it's like, fuck Hershey's. Just do the same thing with this. Just fuck Pez. Here's our Kai Cenat candy dispenser. That's what it should be. That's who should do it. Is them.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like that idea. All right. My bit was just like, how people will like pretend to like throw a football or something like that, or swing a golf club, swing a baseball bat, maybe, right?
Yeah.
I just thought, like, what if you just pretended to do like the more mundane things in sports? Like,
read the playbook?
Like, no, like, what if I just like went down and pretended to be a holder and just went like while like kneeling on the ground? Or like if someone's pretending to like practice their golf swing, I might just like pretend to line up the putt with like a putter, just like hold it up straight, pretend to like read the greens, like balance your feet out. Yeah, that was my bit.
The kick holder's funnier for sure. I'm trying to think of what a good.
Well, you can do a bunch of stuff. Like I thought about like just setting a screen instead of sitting there like this, like shooting hoops and stuff. You just sit there and just set a screen. Take a charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the bit. Is just if you ever see someone like
box out.
Yeah. If you ever see someone just like pretending to like dribble between their legs or something like that, you just like sit there and set a screen.
That'd be perfect.
Bit. Yeah. So
that's all I had. Little pick and roll action.
Yeah, exactly. That's amazing. All right, that does it for this week. It's been long enough. This podcast has gone on. We will be back next week to talk about the divisional round and the conference championships coming up the week after. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure Jakey Tutties is looking forward to it. I'm sure Jakey Buckets is looking forward to making a return to the Every Sport Today network at some point. He's been locked up in the cage. He's ready to come out and murder Jakey Tutties again. He's just sitting there in the closet right now
with a flaming guitar.
It's going to be amazing. I can't wait for that moment.
Strangle.
You should tangle it around your neck. We'll have to like
we need
reenact
to figure
it
out
on the podcast.
how to superimpose videos so that I'm sitting here and then another one of me comes from behind and strangles me like Godfather style.
That'd be awesome. I can figure that out. I do enough editing as it is. All right, that'll do it for the podcast. Thank you again, Mr. Tutties. We will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.